Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. We've got Tim Neal and Courtney Mims alongside us tonight. We're gonna knock out some 2025 predictions for the Razorbacks. So looking forward to this. I've had people asking me. I'm sure Courtney. I'm sure you have as well, Tim. It gets like we get it. We know you want them. You want to know where we're at with the Razorbacks in 2025. So we're going to get into all that. First off, shout out to Patreon supporters for listen. The month is coming to a conclusion, but you guys are still rock stars, and let's keep going. Keep I don't know. Sign up today. Help Tusk Talk with Ty out. Help the channel out. Help it grow and all that stuff. Like, share, subscribe, everything. All right, Courtney, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Doing good. Are you fighting traffic right now? What's going on? You're pulled over on.
Yeah, so y'all know that I have an announcement coming. Filmed some promos today.
Exciting.
For a new announcement. You might have to change that little like Pig Trail Nation because it'll be a different title very, very soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a cool announcement coming. That's a teaser, as we like to say in the TV industry. Shot some promos today, and then I'm gonna go shoot some more later on tonight. So that's why I said I only have like 30 minutes. So if I only get through half the schedule with you guys, you guys have to like, I don't know, tease for that latter half of the schedule, I guess.
Well, and we were gonna have Travis was supposed to send us a video, but unfortunately,
and he didn't.
He didn't send the video, so we don't have his prediction.
Travis,
he's fired.
He's fired. You're fired, Travis. No more. No, he's unable to join us. He's unfortunately. I say unfortunately. My God, he's spending time with his kid. He's watching him practice. So
he's doing the dad thing, and he does it really well. So we'll let him have off for that, I suppose.
I guess we'll let him off. I guess. All right. Well, Courtney, since we're up against it, you've only got about 25, 30 minutes. We'll try to get through this. We'll start with you. We'll just go right into it.
Okay.
Alabama A&M, August 30th, and you can, however long you need, just take it game by game, or if you just want to go, here's where I'm at here, here's where I'm at here, and we can do it that way. But I'll let you start. Again, since we're a little pressed for time, since you've got to be somewhere, you're a busy lady, so we'll let you start. You go ahead. You tell us where you're at.
I'm sorry, it's only because of promos and things, and I promise there'll be some cool stuff coming out later this week. I promise.
We're looking forward to it. We understand. We're looking forward to it.
Promise. Maybe tomorrow, even Wednesday. So I'm hoping I can get it out to you guys soon. What I'm doing and where I am.
Exclusive, right?
What you guys? I will say. How about this? How about this? I will say where I am in the Patreon.
Oh, okay.
I will say what I'm doing and where I am. Maybe let's say Wednesday. I'll say where, and that will be before everybody else gets to know. How about that?
There you go.
You guys heard it there. Join Patreon.
Join Patreon.
It's gonna be on Patreon. It's gonna be on Patreon. Okay.
Tusk Talk with Ty.
Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon. Join the Patreon if you want to know where I'm doing before everybody else in the public gets to know. So you get to tell everyone you know the scoop. Okay. But I am in an undisclosed location right now doing things. But do you want me to go through like game by game? Like just rapid fire and y'all can like hate my picks?
I tell you what, how about I'll start you off. I'll just say Alabama A&M.
Yeah, okay, and I'll just go like rapid fire. How about that?
There you go. Perfect.
Well, okay, Alabama A&M, it absolutely should be a win. If they do not cover the spread, which I think came out today officially, which is 42.5, am I right about that?
Actually.
I will check real quick.
Oh, no, can y'all check? Because I want to make sure I'm right about that. I kept saying they need to beat them by 40, but I think that's when it was unofficially 38.5. But now I think it's 42.
I didn't think official came out until Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, maybe it didn't. I saw it on the Bet Saracen app, but then I thought maybe it was. But I know they put it out as 38.5. Okay. So it might be 42.5. If it's the Bet Saracen line and it's 42.5 now, they need to beat them by at least 43 points or more. I would say Alabama A&M beat Auburn, or Auburn beat Alabama A&M last year. 73-3.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, they need to beat them by 70 then. All right? Okay. We all know what that Auburn team looked like last year. They need to beat them by 70. That should be an easy win. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%.
By the way, we are giving away 2 free tickets to this game thanks to Megan. Shout out to our local Canadian. Megan has blessed us with a couple of tickets, and we're going to give those away here in a little bit. We're going to do the spin probably later on. Please don't let me forget, Tim or Chad. Right. Don't let me forget. We got a lot we're going through today, so just a heads up. So, again, Alabama A&M, 3:15 this Saturday, and, yes, I will be live for a post-game show on that. Next up, September 6th, 4 p.m., Arkansas State down in Little Rock.
Look, there's a lot of Red Wolves fans out there, I know, but even they have said to me, Courtney, Arkansas better win this game. And I 100% agree. Arkansas will win this game. I get it. There's a lot of hype about this. It's their Super Bowl, yada, yada, yada. I get it, guys. I get it. Arkansas State is not winning this game. They are not making it close. I do not care what you have to say. Butch Jones, I get it. 100%. Woo. I get it. I get it. Arkansas is winning this game. They are winning it handedly. Handedly. Okay. If they don't, I am stressed.
Matchup predictor has them at 90% on ESPN at the moment.
Why is it not 95 or closer to 100? I get 90s a lot, but like, okay, yes, man. All right, we see your doubt there. We see your 10% doubt.
Now it gets tough.
Yes,
we had a couple of two that most people would pick Arkansas to win these 2. Now we've got Oxford, Mississippi between 6 or 6:45 p.m. as it's a flex currently at Ole Miss and the Rebels. Right now, I think they're favored on matchup predictor. I think it's like 60. Hold on.
I got it.
72%.
72.8%. Yeah, 73%.
So I'm going to go with people may not like me here, but I think Ole Miss will win this matchup. And I hope I'm wrong on this. I hope I'm wrong. But I think Ole Miss will win. Oxford is a competitive place to play. And I know they've had a lot of turnover, but Lane Kiffin does a great job in the transfer portal, and he's done that again. I know there's a lot of questions. I get it. They don't have Jackson Dart, and I'm not saying he is Jackson Dart. I'm just saying I feel like with what they have, the pieces around him, I feel like they will win that matchup. And also because I feel like Arkansas is going to go into it, and maybe Arkansas, they're going to feel pretty good coming off of 2 easy wins, and this is going to be their tough matchup, their first tough matchup. And so I don't think that's going to play into their favor either. So I think I'm leaning towards Ole Miss, but I hope I'm wrong. Okay. Lucas is hurt. So that also changed me a little bit because I was like, ooh, if Lucas was available, maybe I would even feel more confident picking Ole Miss, but I'm still going to pick the Rebels in this game.
Okay. Next up at Memphis. This is on September 20th, and right now Arkansas's they're favored at 60%.
At 60 or 16?
60%.
Okay, I was like 16%. How are they favored? I'm going to go with ESPN on this too. Arkansas will win this matchup. And I know everyone wants to say Memphis, Cordy, but Memphis is good. Yes, I get it. But do you know how many players they lost? They did that's a brand new team.
Yeah, it's a new team.
Brand new team. And I was talking to some people who cover Memphis the other day, and they had said to me, they were like, look, you might have question marks about Arkansas. We have so many question marks about this Memphis team. And we just do not feel like they have the talent, or they went out and got the talent to go up against Arkansas. So I think Arkansas will win. Also, you guys want to hate on the Liberty Bowl, okay? And I get that. Memphis isn't my favorite. All right, I know you guys are laughing. Memphis isn't my favorite place to go to in the world either. The Liberty Bowl is not my favorite bowl. I'll tell you that. It's not. But guess what? Going there has these guys confident that they can win there. So it's like Taylor Green, Campbell. These guys are like, we're confident playing in that stadium. So that's why it also gives Arkansas the edge for me. I think they're going to come off that Ole Miss loss, and they're going to be hungry. They're going to want to punch the lights out of Memphis. And so they're going to get a win there.
Arkansas, Notre Dame on the 27th. This is an 11 a.m. kickoff. Notre Dame is favored at 69%. So obviously,
wow.
Wow, like you're surprised it's not higher? Or
I'm surprised it's not higher, actually. I'm surprised
how you can be the
it's
number
not
6 team in the nation and not have a better predictor than that.
Yeah, and also again, I think I was talking about this in Discord, so no one should be shocked about this. Talking about, I think Marcus Freeman is a fabulous coach. He sure knows how to coach a defense. Oh my gosh, the dudes they brought in there, awesome. And I get it, they have a different quarterback now, but they feel really, really confident. And their quarterback, they also feel confident in who he has around him. Oh my gosh, they have a studded wide receiver group. They just have studs all up and down. You look at that roster and you go, oh my gosh, this is talent. If Arkansas beats Notre Dame, Arkansas can win a lot of games this year. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say, I know it's in Fayetteville. I know it's going to be a great environment. It's an 11 a.m. game. I wonder how the crowd is going to be affected based on my prediction that they lose to Ole Miss, right? How are people going to feel with this team after after already losing an SEC game? I don't know. So people have said to me they're going to show up no matter what. It's just going to be a great game, and I hope so. 11 a.m. games scare me, guys. I don't care who it is. It just scares me because, there are so many people that go to that game and don't show up until halfway through the first quarter, and you're like, guys. So I'm going to give Notre Dame the edge. I'm going to say they win. Maybe that's why ESPN, to be fair, is giving a little more love to Arkansas because it is in Fayetteville. And I do know that ESPN likes Razorback Stadium, and they feel like it's a good environment.
The only question I have really is with CJ Carr, their quarterback. A lot of questions there. Don't know what to expect out of him. I know he was a unanimous 4-star out of high school, big time player like you'd expect Notre Dame to get. But so you're siding with ESPN on that one. All right.
Sorry.
No.
I know some people are like, they're going to beat Notre Dame, and I'm like, I love you guys for saying that. I love you guys.
Crazy things have happened, but Notre Dame is, like you said, a lot of talent, a lot of good pieces back for them as well. October 11th, Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville. They are favored at almost 77% according to the matchup predictor.
They're a bigger favorite than Notre Dame.
That's
crazy to me.
Way too
crazy. That's way too high, first of all. And this is the game that I feel like Arkansas is going to be ticked off about losing to Notre Dame. And I feel like they are going to be so freaking mad. And they're going to be like, okay, let's go. And I feel like this is going to be a really great matchup. And I feel like Arkansas is going to win. First of all, don't be like, Courtney, what are you talking about? I just feel like they're going to get somebody on the road this season. And for me, it's Tennessee with all the question marks. They have quite a few question marks too. And I've looked at their camp and what they've got going on over there. And yes, they have some good players. Don't get me wrong. They have some good players, but I feel like people are very curious at what Tennessee they're going to get this year. So I'm based on who they lost. And so I'm very curious about this matchup, but I really feel like, and a lot of people would argue against me there. Courtney, they're mad at what happened. Tennessee's mad at what happened in Fayetteville last year. They are so mad. I get that. But doesn't Arkansas have a bye week before this game too?
This is a yes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, because they play Notre Dame's on the 27th.
Yeah.
And then you got
so they do have a bye week. So they're going to be rested. They're going to be ready. I think they go to Knoxville, and I think they beat Tennessee. That's I know that's a crazy prediction, but that is my they're going to get somebody. Okay. And I really feel like it's Tennessee.
That's who they got last year.
To be fair.
That's who they got last year, right? In Fayetteville. That was the win.
I know.
To be fair, Tennessee's coming off of 2 bye weeks, basically. So because they play Mississippi State and then they have a bye week.
Yeah, but they're going to prepare for Mississippi State though.
That's like 2 bye weeks.
I mean, it is an SEC team, even though Mississippi State is, they're down bad. Okay, so Courtney's got them winning that one.
I like it. I like going to Rocky Top and beating them in Neyland. So I like it. Personally, that's me.
Texas A&M In Fayetteville.
I know it's in Fayetteville, and I feel like bad picking against Fayetteville. I feel bad. Like, I feel bad picking the away team, but this is a case where, Ty, I'm going to be honest, and Tim, I'm going to be honest, show me you can beat them. Show me you can beat them. Show me you can beat them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick you until you can show me you can beat them. And I really feel like Texas A&M, and I've also said this in the Discord, this is not going to be shocking to anybody. I feel like Texas A&M sneaky isn't being talked about enough, and I have them in the playoffs. So
oh wow, okay.
I do. So just saying, that's an early prediction there, early bets there. But so I think Texas A&M is going to beat them in this game. I hope I'm wrong. Again, I keep saying I hope I'm wrong, but show me you can beat them. Show me you can beat them.
Let's see, the matchup predictor favors, and I don't know how you feel about this. They favor A&M at 62%. I guess you're probably on board with that if you're taking A&M to win this. I feel like it's probably more like I don't know, straight up. This is pretty accurate in my opinion. I would say 60-40, right? But it's 38%, so we're splitting hairs at that point. Next up is Auburn in Fayetteville, also on the 25th. This is another one. Interestingly enough, Arkansas is favored to win this on the matchup predictor, but at 53%.
Oh,
should be much higher.
What? Can I get this? Can I get the how they do this? Can I get the breakdown? Because I really have some problems with this matchup predictor. Okay, I have some matchup issues here. I'm taking Arkansas to win that game. They've got to beat Auburn. You cannot lose to an Auburn team that people just are like. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't think Auburn. I just don't think they're gonna be good. But maybe I'm wrong. I just don't think they're gonna be good, and so I think Arkansas needs to beat them genuinely.
Lot to talk about with Freeze. His back's against the wall. We don't know what's going on with the quarterbacks. I mean, they're talking about playing all three. Against Baylor.
But that's the thing. Like, how do you feel good about saying, 52? Arkansas is going to win that game, but we feel 52%. Like, it could be Auburn's game as well. I get it that maybe they're just taking into account, like you said, the uncertainty of this Auburn team. I feel like Hugh Freeze is going to be fired. I mean, that's my opinion. I think he's going to be gone. So.
He's going to be gone.
Like the battle of the hot seats, right?
Yeah, the battle of the hot seats. Maybe that's why it's 52%. Which hot seat will win? Which hot seat coach will win?
And you could probably say the same thing against. And I don't mean to be. I know it's only year 2, but Lebby at Mississippi State. How many games did he win last year? And if he can't repeat, or if he can't like triple that number, is he? I mean, I don't know. I don't know that Arkansas got rid of Chad Morris, and how many games did he win year 1? And right now, Arkansas and Mississippi State, I hate to say this, but it feels like they're on similar grounds a little bit with Arkansas getting the edge. So Mississippi State's up next. 74%.
Do we need to talk about this one? Because they
no, not really.
No, they're going to be missing. You're not going to lose to the literal worst team in the SEC.
Yeah,
like if you lose to the worst team in the SEC this year, I might fire Pittman tomorrow. Like, if he loses that game, I might go and fire. Like, that would be a slap in the face, to be honest with you.
Depending on how the schedule lines up and how he's performing going into that game. I've said it before. I don't remember if I made a video or Patreon video about it, but I said Mississippi State, if he's only won 3 games at this point and he loses that game against Mississippi State, he's gone. Like, I think he's probably fired.
Well, that would be a huge slap in the face. I really feel like, I mean, and Mississippi State, here's the thing, weird things happen. I feel like they're gonna scare some teams, right? That always happens. I feel like, they're gonna try and get somebody. That always happens. I just hope it's not Arkansas. I just hope it's not that week and they go and they crush them.
That'd be brutal. It would. So again, Arkansas is favored at 74% according to the predictor there.
It needs to be more than that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Why I have so many problems.
That is made of our own doing. That is not knowing what to expect from Arkansas week
That's
in,
fair.
week out.
Well, and
That's
it is
fair.
and it is true, because when people ask me to talk about Arkansas, like people outside of this, like Alabama people and Auburn, and like when you go on different shows, and talk about the SEC, and they ask about Arkansas, I go, guys, there's a lot of question marks. I do. I say that. I'm like, there is a lot of question marks.
I want to pick
But-
your brain on that
Would you-
when we're done.
Would
All
you
right.
not say that the Arkansas's biggest problem, really, last 10 years maybe, is playing to the level of their competition all the time?
True, but that stems from the head coaches. I'm gonna
Agree. I 100%
sorry.
agree with you. I just think that when you look at a matchup predictor like that, that's got to factor in, as they always play to the level of their competition. They don't go blow out a lot of teams that they should.
Yeah, because they're also, I feel like, you always don't want to look ahead, right? You always don't want to look ahead. But their psychology and players and things like that, it's hard not to look ahead a little bit, right? It's hard not for some of these guys. It's hard to not look ahead for some of these guys. Sorry, brain words. For some of these guys, when they're excited about the season and they're excited about some of these games, I think it's a little bit what might happen early on in this season, where you might see not Alabama A&M, but you might see an Arkansas State try and do something miraculous, because these guys are like, it's Arkansas State, it's our little brothers, everyone thinks we're gonna win this game, we're fine, we're good. Like, that's where you get got. And I agree with you. Arkansas plays to their competition. That is a direct reflection of the head coach. Because I'm telling you this, my dad always said he would take the schedule and he would cross out all of the games on it, cross out every single one, right, on the schedule. And he would go, do you know what you're focused on? I ain't looking ahead to our rivalry matchup in week 9 or whatever it is. We're looking at the week. And if you are not focused on that week, and if I hear you talking about anything but this week, you're done. You're not getting playing time. Like, that's how serious you need to be about it. And I'm not in those coaches meetings, so they might be saying that, but I just really do believe if your head coach isn't preaching that and not saying those things, that's where the straying eyes go, if that makes sense.
Arkansas, LSU. This is I don't know how much time we want to spend on this. November 15th. It's now the only thing that's in Arkansas's favor is that it's not a 6 p.m. kickoff. I think it's slated for noon, if I'm not mistaken, noon to 1.
Which game?
Arkansas LSU.
Is it slated for earlier? I thought it was slated for later, but
according to the website,
it's 11 to noon.
Oh, man.
Noon to
wow.
ESPN says early noon to 1 p.m. Eastern start, and then the Razorback. And then the Razorback website says early 11 a.m. to noon. So it's not a p.m. game. So that's the good news.
In Death Valley.
No, I don't know how much that matters really, because LSU. I'm big on LSU. I'll just say it right now.
Yeah, they're my pick to win the SEC.
Mine too.
That's who I picked. That is who I picked. If you want to know who I picked on the media day, yada yada, I picked LSU to win the whole thing. And I think we're talking about a coach that sneakily, Brian Kelly, also his seat is warm, guys. You know that.
Yeah.
They are mad at him at LSU in Baton Rouge right now. And they want to see results. They want to see him get to the playoffs and get to a championship game. They are very tired with Brian Kelly in Baton Rouge. Let me say that. There's a reason why the Nick Saban rumors got drummed up, return to coaching, yada yada. And it was mainly because people are sick and tired of Brian Kelly in Baton Rouge. So he has got to show that he can do it.
That's my only issue with LSU. I think they're good enough to win the SEC. I said they're my team. They are my team, even though I haven't really made an official pick, but they have every time I go down that list. There's so much talent. And then Nussmeier, I don't know why we keep talking about these other quarterbacks when Nussmeier did what he did last year. Nussmeier is just so good. He could rip you to shreds. So I'm with you. LSU, by the way.
Sorry. It's why I also think, you guys asked me about my top quarterbacks take and all of that. It's why I get so mad that people aren't giving Nuss a little bit more love, and they want to be super high on Lenore Sellers. And I get that.
Yes.
I 100% don't think he's a bad quarterback, but you got to give Nuss love. Like, you really do. That's why I think they're really good. And the guys around him, we talk about the weapons that he has. He's going to be so comfortable. Just so comfortable in that offense this year. I think that's why I really feel good about LSU. Really,
69% in favor of LSU according to the matchup predictor. I'm actually surprised it's not higher. At Texas,
this matchup. What are they thinking?
What do you mean?
This matchup, all of these percentages I have disagreed with, except maybe Arkansas State and well, no, I think I got mad about Arkansas State too, didn't I? Yeah, all of them. I've gotten mad about all of them. Sorry.
So Arkansas at Texas, the Longhorns are favored at 89.6. This is November 22nd. Against right now currently ranked number 1 Longhorns. I'm not so sure they're going to be ranked number 1 by the time Arkansas plays them. I could be wrong, but tell us what you think.
No, I think you're exactly right. I agree with you there. I think if you're talking about an overrated team right now, I think it might be Texas. And I'm not trying to be mean. I know they're down. I'm not trying to not give any love to Arch Manning, okay? He has a lot of pressure on him. I feel bad being that kid and having the pressure that he has on himself. He is still not proven. He's still not a proven quarterback, right? I'd take a proven quarterback over him. No offense. I take a proven quarterback over him right now. And so I'm still picking Texas. Don't look at me. And it's like, don't be like, oh, she's not picking Texas. I'm picking Texas, but I actually think Arkansas can give them a run for their money, though. I'm going to say that.
They did last year.
And they did. And I honestly, if coaching was the reason they lost that game, that's 100% the reason they lost that game. Sorry.
I'm carry on. I'm not going to say.
No, I'm serious. Some of the play calling and some of the decisions I really was shocked at in that game. And I went,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's something else to consider.
Yeah.
So Manning couldn't win the spot last year against Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers. Sorry. You said it like that one time, and I can't get it out of my head.
This dude was barely drafted. And that's he was drafted he was the 231st overall pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying Manning is not better than he is, but that kind of makes me pump the brakes on just how good they really think he is. I mean, again, he was picked up by Miami, and he was drafted in the 7th round, and Manning couldn't beat this guy. If Manning is really the next, he's the next coming of the great quarterback, how did he struggle against this cat? That's my question.
Those are all valid questions. And I'm going to be really interested to see if he lives up to the hype. Really interested.
I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good. I've got question marks about how I really thought he was going to take the job last year and he failed to do it.
A lot of people did. You're 100% barking up the right tree, Ty. A lot of people were very curious. He didn't win that job.
I think it's going to be interesting. Texas is coming off of Georgia to play Arkansas. How beat up are they from playing Georgia? Walking into an Arkansas game too. So I think that'll be an interesting thing.
True. Very fair.
Mention that who you play before does matter, and that's a good question.
And having a week of rest, right? That's why I said going into the Tennessee game, I'm feeling more confident about Arkansas. So
yeah,
I agree with you. That's a really good point, Tim, and something that I seriously, that's a fun game for me because I really do feel like it could go either way. And I know that's crazy to say with the number 1 team in the nation. And no, I mean, that's just crazy, but I'm going, I really feel like Arkansas will be at a point where they figured a lot of things out and they feel really good going into that game. And I mean, we'll see. It's a tough one to go into after
LSU,
right? It's tough. No matter which way you slice it or dice it.
Yeah, and That is fair. Like you do have to play LSU on the 15th, and then turn around and play Texas 7 days later. But we know Georgia, that we know how physical they are. All right, last but not least, the game that Arkansas, they're cursed against these guys like they are against A&M, the Missouri Tigers.
Yep.
On the 29th, which will be a PM game, by the way. I love that. I freaking love that that's a night game, and that's how you end the regular season. But Arkansas is favored in this game, according to the matchup predictor, at 53%.
Oh, nice. A little bit favored. Giving them a little bit of that home field advantage, right? This is the same argument I'm going to use for Texas A&M. I'm not going to pick Arkansas because show me you can win this game, right? Show me you can win. Sorry. Show me you can win. I think Missouri, I think they absolutely can beat Missouri this year. I think Arkansas can. But show me you can win that game. Because I feel like something weird is gonna happen. And like they're gonna blow it. That's how I feel like the season's gonna end. Because that feels like true Arkansas fashion of just going into that game, being favored, feeling good. You know, maybe you gave Texas a great battle the week before, right? And you're feeling good going to this, and now I just can't pick them. I cannot pick them. What is Arkansas has lost 9 of the last 10? Is that right? Is that my math right on that?
It's something around there. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, 9 out of the last 10. If my math is right, and I'm literally trying to think really quickly, years, and I'm looking at schedules in my brain. Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
No, sorry.
So we have to round that up. Tim, were you keeping count of her total wins?
I did not.
So she has Alabama, Arkansas 2-0. And then she's got Arkansas losing to Ole Miss on the road, right?
3-1.
Yeah, so it's 6
she
and 6.
finishes Memphis 3-1.
6 and 6.
It's 6 and 6. I think I have them 6 and 6. They'll make a bowl game.
So here's the question.
Okay.
You know,
is paddlefish? Is that a real question?
That is, yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it on the screen.
I mean, I can answer it really quick.
Go ahead, answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they have a chance to get Gruden. Why? Because no, I'm serious.
No.
No.
You know what you just did, Courtney?
Okay. But guys, this is. I'm telling you this. Let me finish. Let me finish.
I want to hear this.
Let me finish. Yes, they have a chance to get Gruden. Gruden has said that he wants to be back into coaching and that he'd like to coach in the SEC. So I think that means he will look at any school that has an opening, right? And no, not confirmed Gruden coming. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
There it is.
Stop, guys. Stop it. It's not what I'm saying. No. Gosh,
You should have known that's what's going to happen when you say that.
But that's the real answer, right? Yes, they have a chance of getting Gruden, but it doesn't mean it's a big chance. It doesn't mean it will happen. It doesn't mean, because here's why. I don't think Pittman's going to be fired with a 6 and 6 season.
Oh.
I don't think he's going to be fired with a 6 and 6.
So so then you are. I don't want to put words in your mouth, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I know we're up against it here. You're buying that Arkansas doesn't have the money to replace him? Is that where that's coming from?
No, it's not. Some people might know there's something I released in Patreon, and that maybe that's a good thing to go over to Patreon and see that. But I believe that certain things will happen before Pittman gets the boot. And I think that those things have to be in place for Pittman to get the boot. I don't want to say it on the show because not everybody has that information. Not everyone knows what we're talking about. Not everyone knows the insider scoop there. And I think that's I think that's the reason. So I think
I'm trying to run that Discord, and I don't always keep up with Patreon chat. I do my best. Okay. All right. We're trying to manage these online dynasty leagues. We got fantasy football queued up. I've got to do these live shows. I got to keep my mods in order that are mouthing off to people in chat, calling them names, my own mods. golly, cut me some slack.
Dang, they are so mean. The other might be nice.
I'm telling you.
Hey, but there's another reason to go on the Patreon. Look at that tea, that piping hot tea,
Yeah.
because we put some insider stuff in there, like message board, right? And I just don't want to give it away for free because it's like stuff that we, right?
That's right.
And I love Matt saying, knowing what she's talking about got me feeling like an insider, bro. I'm like, yes, yes. I love it. But that's why I think there's some things that have to happen in order for that to go through. I don't think 6-6, because here's the thing. If you go 6-6, goes to a bowl game, wins that bowl game, okay, you did what you did last year, right? You did what you did last year, and we have some more pressing matters to take care of. Also, you've got to think about this, guys, too. I'm going to bring this up. There's something to think about. If you're €100 check and you have this money, you now have to find around $25 million more every year, right? You have to find $25 million more every year. And so most athletic directors are trying not to fire coaches right now because they know that that's chunk of money that they will have to, okay, we have to do a buyout, whatever the buyout is, that's money, right? And then whatever we pay the new coach, right? That's also, that's more expenses than we might like. And how much behind the 8 ball does that put you? Not everybody has somebody that will walk up and go, I'll pay the buyout. I'll pay the new coach's salary, right? I'll do this,
Right.
I mean, this goes into the Gruden conversation, right? How much money does Gruden want? How much money? How much money are we talking?
I wouldn't imagine he would ask for a lot, though.
I don't think so either. So that's why I'm like, maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, but if
he won't ask for a lot of money, and the Arkansas could get a deal, he could be back in the SEC. Whoop-de-doo, But yeah, I genuinely think, and I like what John says too, because I'm gonna bring up John Haas. He has some great stuff. But this is another point. 6-6 with this schedule would be really impressive. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It is the saw somewhere third toughest. I saw somewhere by some metrics toughest schedule in the country, Arkansas. By some metrics, toughest schedule in the country.
I get that, but we play Notre Dame and we got to go to Memphis. Memphis, I think, is going to be garbage. I don't think they're going to be worth a damn.
They are going to be garbage.
Notre Dame is not. I don't think they're going to be good. They might still be a playoff team. I don't know. I don't think they're good enough to make a championship run. And I do think when the dust settles, it's not going to be the number 2 schedule in the country. I just don't, because of all the quarterback changes, all the movement on both sides of the ball, talking about just personnel, the draft picks, no Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. Yeah, it's a tough schedule. But here's the problem. You play a similar damn schedule every year. Yeah. And to say that, 6-6, they improved with the schedule. Well, we don't know that yet. I think that's a little bit premature because we don't know for sure yet. I still think it's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be tough. But it's that way every year, man. And 6-6, again, if God willing, if we could only just put the money thing aside, and I know we can't, it's a reality. There is no way in hell I would keep Pittman going 6-6 this year. There's no way in hell. Fans, they're tired of the excuses. They're tired of moral victories. They're tired of hearing their coach not knowing what he's doing or saying these things, even though I think he's, doing the best that he can. But there's a limit there,
They're tired of the 7-17 in single score games.
I don't disagree with you guys. Here's the thing. I don't disagree with you guys. I think you're at a rock and a hard place too, because you have all this money that you now have to have each year to stay competitive, right?
That's true. Yeah.
I think most people would agree. Most people. I asked the chat in Tusk Talk. I wanted to know, hey, would you rather have Pittman for another year and have all the money for NIL, be totally competitive with every other school? Or would you rather take less in rev share and get rid of Pittman? And I asked people that. I said, what would you want? And most people, I don't think there was a single person, and I could be wrong, I don't think there was a single person who said that they would rather have less money for rev share, that they would take Pittman for another year.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, when you look at the 7-17 record on the one score losses, win loss, those are games you can chalk up to coaching. Those aren't games where you didn't have the talent. You had the talent. It's a 1-score ball game.
Yeah.
Coaching makes all the difference in those games, in my opinion. So in that case, would I take the talent I have with a coach who could win more of those 17 losses? I think I might. I think I might spend a little more on a coach who can coach us into a win out of those 17 games.
Yeah.
The talent was there to be competitive. The games were lost by coaching.
I guess it also depends on who are the realistic options, right? Like, who are the realistic options? Would you take Gruden over a fresh new Gruden over Sam Pittman year 7 after going 6-6?
Yeah.
I don't know if Gruden's that guy either. That's
I'm throwing a name out there.
I think I'm looking at money, right, guys? And I'm not saying, I'm just thinking right now, because every school is doing this. Every school is looking at this money. It's not just Arkansas. Every single school is dealing with this problem. So guys, don't be like, oh, it's not like Arkansas shouldn't be in the SEC. They're poor. No, every school is dealing with this. Some schools are dealing with this more heavily than others. Like Missouri, poor Missouri, they're taking out, they're in debt over this. They're in debt over this. And that's going to catch up to them. That is going to catch up to them. Right now it's not, but it's going to catch up to them. And so every school is dealing with this problem. And so it's like, okay, how do we, what's the best option here? And I don't envy the people who make those decisions, right? Because I would be right there with you guys. I would go, you know what? We need a new head coach. We need a new head coach to spur more money and, and get people excited about the program, right? Oh my gosh, Angel. Gosh, y'all are in the chat right now.
Say we pour.
Damn, can I say that? Is that illegal on this?
Damn.
Oh Lord, we say far worse, that's for sure.
No, it's just like, damn, this chat right now. They're just like, oh, Courtney said that. Oh Lord, let's put this, oh my gosh, guys.
Courtney confirmed John Gruden at a time when Arkansas was Poe.
I did not.
He says he's being honest. Angel says he's being honest.
Okay, Angel, I appreciate you, Angel. You know what? Just be honest. Hey, and I'm keeping it real too. I'm letting you know what the money conversations are like, right? I'm letting you know this is a serious thing that is happening all over the country, but especially with schools that don't just have people who just will give boatloads and boatloads and boatloads of money. Boatloads. I mean, yes, you can name Tyson here. You can name, whoever you want to here. I mean, again, the Hunts or whatever you want to name, right? But they're not just going and saying, here's an open checkbook. They're not. They're not. I mean, that's just not, they're not doing that with their money. There are other schools with people who are like, I will give whatever you need. I will pay the buyout. I will do whatever you need. And I'm like, y'all got way too much money on your hands. Y'all got way too much money on your hands. But I worry about the money situation because that's why you've seen it. You've seen the signs of what Hunter's trying to do to raise money. You've also seen they cut people in the department, right? A lot of people saw that, he's doing things to try and say, okay, how can we save money? How can we create, oh my gosh, I did not say what is going on in this chat.
Kerper's just this is Kerper clowning. This is a mod, by the way. How dare you, sir?
How dare you? How dare you say that? I didn't say that. And
this is an 81 Honda Civic. How dare you?
And I would never say that. I think honestly that there needs to be some changes very quickly. But I'm going to say that because I'm going to be nice. There needs to be some changes. A, to get people more excited, but B, to just really go, okay, it's a fresh start, right? Everyone just wants a fresh start right now, I mean, people hated on Daniel Shee for the question he asked, right, in the press conference.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like it's fair, right? Year 6 isn't jazzy right now for him. It's not. It's we need to address this comment though by John.
Dion, the exact reason I don't want Gruden. Did you see Colorado before he got there? And have you seen Colorado since?
Yeah.
They only won 4 games in 23. What'd they do last year?
Yeah.
I mean, they went 9-4, and he's already now after just 2 years, he's above 500. He's just 2 games below in conference play at 500, but they went 7-2 in conference play. I mean, you could say whatever you want about, well, yeah, it was the Big 12, blah blah blah. That's fair, but I mean, he's only in year 2, and he's already had more wins or as many wins as Pittman has ever had in 2 years. As far as in a single season, he had the 9-win season in 21 after beating Penn State in the Outback Bowl, the last Outback Bowl. So I don't. If your reasoning is, well, I don't want Gruden because exactly what's going on with Dion. They just went 9-4, dog. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, and he brought in all these incredible recruits.
Yeah.
Fair enough. They should be winning games with all these recruits because it's the Big 12. He's only year 2. I don't know I've said since the beginning, like Dion, I think it's going to end in catastrophe for Colorado. I just do. I think it's going to be like the Petrino situation where when he leaves or towards the end, it's going to be a shit show. I firmly believe that's going to happen, but damn it, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that Gruden would have the exact same. Remember, Gruden has decades of coaching experience here.
They're also very different people.
They are. They're very different people. And
Similar, but different.
I also think you're just getting a different style. Like Dion relates to these athletes. I've watched him, like in the press conference setting, right? It doesn't come across as much as when it does in coaching meetings and things where they have him mic'd up, and these athletes respect him and they really, really want to play for him, and it resonates. I wonder what's the feel? I don't know the pulse on these kids around Gruden, right? Like, I feel like kids would want to play for him just with all the experience he has. And he's fun now working for Barstool. Like, I feel like he'd connect more, So I just don't know what the attitude is around him as much,
What I said last week about Gruden, the thing that's appealing to me, and I don't know how it would go. I'm not a pro Gruden guy necessarily. And again, people who were here last week know where I'm about to go with this. His pipeline to Tampa would be crazy. His recruiting pipeline to that area would be crazy. So
oh my gosh, yes.
That's the thing. Like,
and like he has some big ties with like IMG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Barstool connection doesn't hurt. He is. I mean, I'm saying maybe he ought to try. And I realize I think he's 62, and this would be a hell of a trip for him. Maybe he ought to try like group of 5 for a couple of years and then maybe see where he's at, and by then he's in his mid 60s, and I get it. But like, I wouldn't exactly, first off, I don't think it's fair to compare Dion and Gruden just because they have the NFL background. But Gruden, I think, would absolutely crush recruiting. I really do. Even at Arkansas, I think he would crush recruiting. And again, that pipeline down there would be insane.
I feel like you would get a lot of people on board with just the fresh, just like a guy who's recognizable, right? Huge recognizable name, and just a fresh take, right? I think you're gonna generate NIL money. I think you're gonna be able to get a whole lot of people who are excited about it, and want to give and give, So I think so. That's personally me.
Yeah, I think with any splashy coach, that's gonna be true.
Yeah.
People just don't want a nobody.
No, they don't. Look at Billy Napier, the fan base with him, it was like, people were just not about it when he got hired. So
first off, Mark, comparing Bielema to John Gruden's presence in Tampa, that's crazy work, my man. That's crazy.
I think someone was also bringing up, like, is Arkansas really that broke? And I want to explain. I think it was like Steven1383 was like, is Arkansas really that broke? And I'm like, no, you've got to look all over, right? This is happening all over. You just told every single school, right? And especially Power 4 schools, you just told them, you know what? You were making good money before, right? Like, let's say you're a business, right? And tomorrow you're making good money, you're making good revenue, right? And then tomorrow somebody goes, okay, your expenses are going to go up by 42%. You have to come up with that overnight. 42% is going to go up tomorrow by 42%. Have fun. You know, find that money, right? Find that money. And that's where people are going, and every athletic director across the country, right, is going to go and be like, oh my gosh, you know, how are we going to find this money? How are we going to find this money, right? It's everybody is dealing with that. It's not just Arkansas. Now, some people have an easier time with it because they have people that are going, sure, you know, we'll figure out how to give you that money. But people here are already giving, right? The Tysons are already giving. You know, you have the Waltons giving something, not a lot. They're more into the arts. They're more into Bentonville and all of that, you know, and doing all of that. But you have Sir Hunts are giving. You just don't have those people. Those people are going and saying, you come to us all the time, right? You come to us all the time asking for money, money, money. Can you drum it up somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
That's the issue. So I just, you know, I just that's where I'm at right now with all of these schools. I mean, go ask anybody. It's not just Arkansas dealing with this. There's so many people talking about, well, maybe we shouldn't fire this coach, or maybe we should hold on to coaches maybe a little bit longer because we're having to make so much more money. And we want to be, it's so much more important right now to have the competitive advantage in NIL. Really. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm sorry.
It's a whole new world. You're right.
You have to have it. You have to have it. So, you know.
Whole new world, and everybody's dealing with it. It's not easy. No one has the fix. It just is what it is. Again, I man, oh Lord. It's a double-edged sword what we're dealing with right now. It could be a benefit, like balancing everything out, like Pittman believes it's going to, and you're talking about the rev share. And then also right now it might be kind of, it has something to do with you also maybe having to keep Pittman, even if you go 6-6. That's a real possibility.
Yeah.
5 years ago, if we had said that, I think everyone would be like, no way in hell. But yet here we are.
I think we're just in a different world now, unfortunately. And I think there's a lot of people, you might see this, and this has been talked about on ESPN, SEC Network, all of this, is just that people may keep around coaches for a little bit longer. The buyout clause, people are talking about the buyout clause in coaches' contracts. Is there a way to make that lower? Is there a way to negotiate that lower? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that way we're not on the hook for so much money. And then, but the coaches want buyouts because it protects them, right? Like that's there. It's kind of, you're in a rock and a hard place a little bit because you're like, how do we keep up with this? Because we have to make this 22 point, whatever it is, the 21.5 million, but then you have more on top of that. You have more on top of that, guys, because you also have increased scholarships in every sport, every sport. And so you want to be, Dave Van Horn wants to have the max amount of scholarships, right, guys? Because that's a competitive advantage if he doesn't, or competitive disadvantage if he doesn't.
This is going to impact those other sports a great deal too, in terms of losing staff. It's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds. So
losing staff, you're talking about, and I know Trump signed his executive order and said, you're going to keep those sports. You're going to keep those sports. I just don't think that's going to hold up in court when these people go, we don't have enough money to keep these sports. We do not have enough money. Unless the government wants to give us more money, we do not have enough money to keep these sports afloat. We just don't. We can't do it. How can you argue with that? You can't, know?
Well, now I think the more we talk about this, the more we understand why the OG fans are like, I'm over college athletics. I'm over it. Like, it's a lot to swallow. It's a lot to kind of take in and understand. But, when you're talking about like the players already getting paid now, you've got the portal, that's instant eligibility, no matter where you go. And the possibility of player contracts eventually, is they're going to be, are the players going to unionize? It is turning more and more like the NFL, and it's turning a lot of fans off. So, Courtney, I appreciate you so much for coming in here. And I think we once again went over your allotted amount of time, but
we'll make him deal with it at the new place. We'll make a deal. I just like to get on my little soapbox here, Ty.
No, listen, we
Get
love
on
it.
my
Happy to
little
have you do it.
soapbox. I'm sorry.
You got chat rocking tonight.
I'm not trying to. I'm sorry. I'm not trying. Hog Fit 40. Is Cordy replacing Bo on the Chuck and Bo?
Ah,
Y'all, no, I do
the
not
Chuck
care.
and Bocho could only wish that would happen.
I know, but they, goodness gracious, the chat. Y'all crack me up, okay? Y'all crack me up. Keep being you. Thank you, Ty, for having me on.
Yeah.
I enjoy you guys. I enjoy everyone in the chat, by the way. I make fun of it, but I actually enjoy everybody.
It's
Y'all
good
make
fun.
y'all make me laugh. Y'all have actually, everybody has really, really good points and conversation. So I really want to say good job. Keep on keeping on, everybody.
That's what we try to do here. No matter if you agree or disagree or whatever, it's fun to have the conversation. So, all right. Well, Stephen Jones for AD. By the way, I highly, highly recommend everybody watch the Cowboy Netflix documentary. Wow. I'm not a Cowboy fan. You see the flag behind me. That's a Ram fan. Okay. OG Ram fan here since they moved from LA to St. Louis the first time. Stuck with them as they went back out west, even though it was hard to do. And I'm not a fan of the Cowboys. But that Cowboy documentary on Netflix is crazy. And there is so much Razorback love on that series. It's I say Razorback love. They just talk a lot about their time, Jerry Jones and Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson, their time at the U of A. It's kind of crazy how much Arkansas is responsible for making football better to a degree. And then it all came crashing down for the Cowboys. But no doubt that Jerry Jones turned the Cowboys into something crazy when they were garbage before he took over. The few years before he took over, when the head coach couldn't even remember the players' names on the roster. And Jerry Jones comes in, takes over, brings in his buddy from Arkansas, Jimmy Johnson. It's crazy. It's a really good sports doc. So highly recommend you guys go and watch it. Courtney,
you guys, I got to leave before the chat really starts to crack me up and I say something on the show I'll regret.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you, Courtney.
I love you guys.
See you, Courtney.
I'm going to have to go back and read Patreon chat.
Yeah.
We got more show. We're not done. We had anticipated on that being 30 minutes, but Courtney crushes it. And it's funny because she gets y'all going in chat.
Yeah, it's funny. Steven was like, thanks, Ty and Courtney. And I guess Tim, I'm like, I know my place. If Courtney's here talking, I'm not here to interrupt it too much. I might ask a little thing here or there, but let her have her say.
Yeah. Well, you and I still got to do our predictions, man.
I know. I feel like I can blow through mine if you want real quick.
Okay, have at it. You go first.
All right. Alabama A&M, we're going to crush them. I'm thinking 52-10, and I'm only giving them 10 in the fourth quarter when our third string is in.
Okay.
I mean, literally, they'll score on the third string, I think.
Okay.
Arkansas State, I've called it a trap game this entire time. I know Courtney said she thinks we blow them out. I actually chat GPT'd it, and it said we were going to blow them out. I don't think so. I think this is exactly what happens as we look forward to Ole Miss, because it's real competition. We don't look at Arkansas State as real competition. And I think we overlook them a little bit. And I think that we pull away late and it's 28-17. Arkansas State. I know I'm going to have like John Haas going, Tim don't know ball, because he does that every time in the chat. And that's okay. But I really do know that we tend to play the level of our competition and we tend to overlook teams. And I think that happens with Arkansas State. I think it's the biggest trap game on the schedule and we could lose it. I don't think we will. But I do think like 28-17. Ole Miss, man, Ole Miss, I think is a potential it's a potential win, but I don't think we're going to. It sounded like Lane Kiffin was talking about having some problems with the offensive line and tight ends in particular. But I still think that they come out on top, it being at Ole Miss. Memphis, it's just like you said. They're basically a whole new team trying to cobble it all together, and I think we go in and destroy them. I actually think we beat them worse than we beat Arkansas State.
Okay.
Notre Dame at 11 o'clock in Fayetteville. I think we get beat handily. To be perfectly honest, I think we're feeling really good at 3-1, potentially 4-0, and they come in and shatter all of our hopes and dreams and all of our egos. Notre Dame does that. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say that at the end of the Notre Dame game, we're 3-2. Tennessee, I think Tennessee is. I'm going to agree with Courtney. She called it a win. I think I'm going to call it a win too. I just think that they've had a mess of a situation losing their quarterback. Texas A&M, I'm on the prove it train. We just can't seem to beat them. I think we should beat them. I don't think we will. That should put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3.
Yeah, you had who against for Tennessee? Do you have Arkansas or Tennessee?
I had Arkansas beating Tennessee.
Okay.
Arkansas losing to Texas A&M. Auburn is an absolute crap show. Hugh Freeze is going to get fired, and maybe he even gets fired before the Arkansas game, depending on just how bad they are. But if you're worried about playing 3 quarterbacks, not because you think you're going to have all the extra playing time, but because you don't know who to play, you're in a mess. And I think they're a disaster, and I think we'll beat them handily. We'll beat Mississippi State handily, and then we're going to limp into Missouri, getting slaughtered by LSU and Texas. I agree with you that LSU is going to be really good. They're going to saddle themselves with Brian Kelly and disappointment for years to come after he leads them into the playoff this year. I mean, I think they do. They go to the playoff, they perform well, they sign his extension begrudgingly, and then they're stuck with him, and they hate life, just like we are with Sam Pittman. Texas, I think Arkansas always plays Texas well, and it doesn't matter where it is. In Texas, we play them well. In Arkansas, we play them well. Whether they're number 1 or unranked, we play them well. But I still think they beat us. And then we limp into Missouri, getting beaten by LSU and Texas. And once again, for whatever reason, Missouri comes to Fayetteville and beats us to finish the season. And maybe that's the end of Sam Pittman, but I don't think so.
So, okay, so you have Missouri. Okay, so you have Arkansas losing the last 3 games.
Last 3 games of the season. We win Mississippi State, Auburn, Tennessee, Memphis, Arkansas State, and Alabama A&M. 6-6.
6-6. Yeah. Well, there's more and more rhetoric about no matter what happens, if they only win 6, that they're going to keep him. Again, I just go back to I don't know how that's possible. I don't think Mississippi State, even given the current standard that we're in, and like Courtney said, everyone's dealing with this. She's not wrong. Everyone's having to cut 10 to 12% off their athletic budget. Everyone's having to find money. I just can't believe that a school like Mississippi State, I don't think they would. I think they would. I think after 6-6, after, given Pittman's path, I just don't know how the hell you keep a guy for 7th year. I mean, you hear Pittman, I don't know if that was on – I don't remember if that was earlier today or if I'm mixing it up when he talked with at the Catfish Hole, where he was just like, we need fans to show up, kind of not like begging or anything like that, not going on a tangent like we've seen coaches do, but just kind of making that comment like, oh, fans, the weather's going to be good and hopefully fans show up.
He said that today. That
was today. You're right. Yeah. I was speed watching it. And by the way, after we're done with the schedule, we're still not done. I know. We got more. I'm talking to chat, letting everyone know, letting the audience know we're not done yet. We got a lot more to discuss. We got to talk about TeSlaa too. We've got to get into that a little bit. Hearing a lot of rhetoric around that. Okay, so you got him 6-6, possibly firing Pittman. I'll start off with Alabama A&M, obviously a dub. Arkansas State. The more you talk about this game, the more you're kind of convincing me it could be close. And it mostly because of that whole trap game scenario. Because Ole Miss, Pittman knows how important that game is. Potentially how big that game could be. Because if you go into Oxford, presumably if they're still ranked, and I'm sure they will be, you go into Oxford, Pittman has had success against Lane Kiffin. And he has beaten Ole Miss. But this, last year's team was really good. So I've got Arkansas 2-0, and then I've got them right now. Actually, let me pull up my notes to double check what all I said on this one. Hold on, scrolling. No, Monday Night Lights. Here we go. Okay, so I've got Arkansas losing this game, but it's a 50-50 game. Meaning this one it's really tough because I'm not sure that I'm buying like the replacement. What they've had to replace it's nuts. I mean, it's a lot of a lot of production gone from a year ago. And history says that typically, no matter who you are, when you got to replace that kind of production, unless you're a Nick Saban at Alabama or Kirby Smart at Georgia, it is very hard to bounce back and have a just as equal of a productive year that following year when you consider what all Ole Miss has lost. So it's a 50-50 game with me right now leaning towards Ole Miss because it's in Oxford. So that's 2-1. I've got them winning at Memphis. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout, but I do think they're going to walk in there and get that win. Notre Dame, CJ Carr. I just don't know what to make of them other than, man, they're really well coached. Really, really, maybe one of the better coached teams that Arkansas plays this year. From top to bottom. They're that good. And I think with what they have coming back, I think even with a new quarterback, just like Ole Miss, right? I think Notre Dame gets that win. So it's going to be a loss for me for Arkansas and Notre Dame. I think Arkansas goes on the road against Tennessee. It's a 50-50 game, but I'm leaning towards Tennessee. So that right now is a loss for me. Now, where you and I are going to differ is this A&M game, and it's a 50-50. But I think Arkansas can get this win. I'm not sold on what's going on at quarterback. They kind of limped out of that game last year on a neutral field to beat Arkansas, and Arkansas had to once again defeat themselves. We had some poor coaching decisions. We had all kinds of stuff, and A&M still barely beat that Arkansas team with a year one green in a year one offense with Bobby Petrino.
Problem is it's all the same coaches.
It is, and it's Elko, and Elko did great things at Duke. The SEC schedule's a beast, though. I like Arkansas, but it's just barely over the line for me because it's in Fayetteville. Auburn, I have it as a 50-50 game, but really not. I really think Arkansas. I don't know if the situation with the quarterbacks is smoke and mirrors for their week one matchup. If he's just being full of shit, I don't know.
I don't think he's that smart.
But he is a snake, though. He is a snake. Remember the whole Freezus thing when he was at Ole Miss and all that nonsense. I could see him pulling some stuff where he's just being full of crap. But then again, maybe not. And if that is listen, that week one game might tell us quite a bit about what's going on with Auburn.
That's fair.
Right now, I've got Arkansas winning that game, but I have it 50-50. That could change. Mississippi State, yeah, no brainer. Arkansas should get the win. I wouldn't overlook that offense, though, with Levy. I would not overlook it. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year, but they're still probably going to be bottom 5 in the SEC. Very most likely they will be. At LSU, at Texas, I'm with you. I don't see Arkansas winning either of those games. I do. To me, it's LSU, Georgia, probably Texas, even though I think they're the weaker of the three, just my opinion, because of the quarterback situation. We're going to learn more about them too as the year progresses.
Yep.
But yeah, 2 losses there. And then Missouri. You and I differ here, but it is a 50-50 game for me. I like Arkansas winning this game.
I want to.
Yeah.
I want to, but I look at it and I'm like, we lose to LSU, we lose to Texas. We really have nothing to play for against Missouri. Because you got 6 wins without beating Missouri.
You got your bowl win, yeah.
You got your bowl. So you're not playing for a great bowl to get 7 wins instead of 6. You're still going to get in a crap bowl.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really to play for.
The Missouri, there's questions about the quarterback, but they do have some fascinating pieces returning, but they are without their once again, I lost their sheet here. Here it is. I've got some notes on these guys. No Luther Burden, no Theo Weiss. The two combined for 121 catches for close to 2,000 yards and 10 receiving touchdowns.
Those guys no Courtney Crutchfield either.
That's fair. That's fair. No Courtney Crutchfield. They're really upset about that right now. Last year, this was a team that didn't score a lot of points. They're 28, and this was with them being as good as they were a year ago. I mean, they were really good last year, but they only averaged about 28 points a game, 43 total touchdowns scored on the year. There's a lot of change here, a lot of transfers, running back. They've got new faces in the on the offensive line on the right side, but they actually may have upgraded there. But their defense, there's some questions here, but mostly they're returning quite a bit there, and they've got some upperclassmen transfers: Damon Wilson, Josiah Trotter, Stephen Hall at the left corner position, and of course our old friend Jalen Catalon, who's a grad transfer there. That might be a game. That's his welcome back to Fayetteville game. He might just ball out, assuming he's not, banged up because he's so injury prone. But it's a 50-50 game, but I'm leaning towards Arkansas because I just something tells me they might beat both A&M and Mizzou in the same year. And I know that's crazy, but I think they are good enough. That has me at that's seven wins.
Yeah.
So I like Arkansas at 7 wins. Don't take it too seriously. I know we're going to get
I'm holding you to that.
Yeah, well, you should. But they Arkansas, for me, I think they addressed some of the issues. And one of those was up front on the offensive line. I really, really like what they did there. And that was an area where I think you and I would agree with this, and probably a lot of chat. Imagine if that offensive line blocked a little bit better in pass protection.
Yep.
Like, that could be the difference. Obviously, fumbling the damn ball 30 times and, being where they were in the turnover difference is just horrible. And I think they've worked on that. They know they left 2 or 3 games on the field that they could have won. So, a lot of questions about the receivers, right? Like, who's going to show up? Who's the man there? They're going to be without Ishmael Cece, but Monty Harrison has had a really strong spring. Omega Blake has been, spring and fall camp. Omega Blake has kind of been up and down. But Jalen Brown, CJ Brown, and we're going to talk about the depth chart here in just a second. A lot of interesting moves in the receiving core. So many new faces. To me, there's the thing that I get hung up on. There sure are, just like last year, there are a lot of questions with this team. And that's always my thing going into every year. Are there more questions than what we believe to be answers? And there's so many questions. But if the secondary has stepped up, if they're better, if the interior defensive line, listen, David Oki should be back hopefully by week 3. I'm still in wait and see mode with that. That'd be big to get him back. But there's a question mark about the depth in the interior defensive line. I mean, you've got Blackstock moved over there, and he's got what did Pittman say today? 3 practices under his belt in fall camp. 3 practices. I'd feel a lot better about that if he had moved over in the spring, but I realized this was a little bit different scenario. I think this staff failed on getting pieces out of the portal for the defensive line. I think they failed. The interior defensive line is not as thick as I thought it was. Right. Outside of Danny Saili, Cam Ball, and Ian Jaffrard, I don't know what you have there. A lot of questions, and you had to move Blackstock over. I really thought that the freshman was going to make some moves this year. The 4-star defensive tackle, Otis, really thought he would, Kevin Otis, I really thought he'd make a bigger splash. I know, you've got Justice Boone on the edge and Philip Lee and those guys, but just so many questions with that front 6, really because of the defensive line. Linebackers, we know, like, this could be one of the better linebacker cores they've had since
recent memory,
at least since 21, right? So so many questions. Portal was bad at defensive line, but they for sure should have gotten I
feel good. I told you this outside of this earlier. I feel better having listened to Sam talk about Blackstock moving over.
Yeah.
Because you like I said, when you think an offensive lineman who's used to protecting, you don't necessarily think he's got the personality or the drive to play defensive line and really go after someone and take him down. But Sam saying, well, I went to him because he has the demeanor we're looking for in a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
I hope he means that. I hope that wasn't lip service to Blackstock because he was talking to the press. But if he does, I mean, that kind of makes me feel good about the move.
Yeah.
If they feel like he really is kind of the mean-spirited guy you want on the defensive line, that'll really go after the quarterback and go after running backs and knock people over and not be in protect mode all the time. I guess I don't know how to word that right, but
yeah,
I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. By the way, talking about like there wasn't a lot of good targets. They only really targeted, like they went after Jamal Jarrett out of Georgia, who was a 4-star, and he committed to USC. But that was a 4-star. That was a kid that was a 4-star out of high school in the 2023 class, signed with Georgia. I think he visited in Arkansas. I mean, his tackle grade was really good, about 76 overall, according to PFF. They swung and missed on him, and it's kind of understandable. And I think there were a couple of others. I can't find them on here. There were a couple others that they swung and missed on. But Matt's not wrong when he says it wasn't exactly great for interior defensive linemen, but It still should have been more bodies. It's still like there were several other guys in that portal that they should have. James Thompson, kid out of Wisconsin, 6'5", 300 pounds. Was a 3-star. He would have been a super duper senior. I think he was actually a grad transfer. Played no, he wasn't. My bad, because he played 3. Let's see, Richard 2020. So yeah, whatever. He would have been a super senior. They swung and missed on him. There are a couple others, and someone said, did we use all the NIL money on the offense? I think that might actually be a pretty fair assessment. because they missed on a lot of pieces on defense. But they needed to. They need to go out and get some receivers, and I love what they did in the tight end room. That's the other thing. So
Matt's linebacker could help the D-line hide some issues if they're as good as they can be. I will say, when I was looking, I was reading up on Alabama A&M, and that's kind of what they do. They run multiple on the defensive line, but they line a linebacker up as an edge rusher.
Yeah.
To kind of help out the defensive line somewhat. And in theory, we could kind of help out the defensive line with linebackers that way.
Well, we've got,
I don't know if it's in our packages, but
let's put Pittman up here on the screen and let's listen to what he has to say. And then we're going to get into the depth chart. Because there's a little bit here to discuss with this depth chart. I don't know if you had a good chance to look at it today or not. Yeah. So chat, just stand by. Let's get this Pittman. Let's get this out of the way here.
You've been on the hot seat for maybe 3 years.
What a question too, by the way.
They're just out to get him with that. Like, hey, I didn't know if you knew this, but you've been on the hot seat for a long time.
Old Tom Murphy here.
Now it feels like, how do you deal with, does that even enter your thought process?
No, it really doesn't. I'm not on social media or anything like that, and really all that matters is how our team plays, and I can control that to a certain degree, and I can't control what people think about me or what they write about me, so I'm really not really concerned about it.
When you just look at this offensive line, and I know we've talked about the backups a lot, but as you approach game week, just how much reassurance, confidence does, it feels like 10 deep there, 9 deep there, guys that you have trust in. I mean, how big of a boost is that now that we've arrived at game week?
Yeah, big time. We're also going to have to get Emarion Harris a few reps at left tackle because we haven't done that yet. We've moved him to right guard and to right tackle, but I think we're going to have to look at him a little bit at left tackle as well. But just to have that depth is big time. There's a difference in depth with size too, and we have the size now that can handle the size that we're going to see each and every week. So Eric's done a good job with that group, and even though some of them didn't play for us last year. They played for somebody. They played. It wasn't like bringing in even some of the guys that we brought in last year that started for us. They hadn't really played much ball at their previous school. These guys here have, so I'm real confident that we'll be ready. Even though Alabama A&M schematically, they bring some, they play a lot of zero coverage, a lot of internal blitzes. They do some things, a lot of movement on their D-line. They do some things that will certainly test our offensive line. But with the veteran guys that we've had up there, very confident in them and confident in at least 9 to 10 deep there.
Like, and what have you seen from him in practice?
I think it was about 6 days ago. Now, we had talked about it a little bit simply because of the depth there at D-line. Now, we're very, very happy with the young freshmen that we have in there. Kevin Otis comes up, Reginald Vaughn.
That is, by the way, I'm pretty sure that's the first time he has said anything about Otis, like in a positive light, like talking about him. Like that's the guy I, really thought would spring forward because he was so. I mean, people I talked with were like, "Dude, that is a huge get," along with the 4-star linebacker.
Those guys can play. We're very, very happy with those guys. But to get a veteran, older guy, and he played it in high school as well. Keyshawn was the guy that I went to first and asked him if he could. If he'd be interested in, because he wasn't starting on the offensive line, and it wouldn't affect the offense as much as at all actually for right now. And we needed him to play when David got hurt, and he's done a good job over there. Now he's only practiced 3 times over there, but we have this week to get him ready as well, and I think he'll be ready. He's wanted to do it. He said anything for the team, and so when I talked to him, he was outstanding in that part. But I also think he knew, and we know that he has opportunity to go help us on that D line.
Yeah, so I'm surprised he kind of mentioned Otis. I guess he's kind of forced to. That is the. I guess that's the silver lining here is that the younger guys are going to get reps. Otis is going to get reps. He's going to get moved up a little bit. Again, and I'm not saying I expected Otis to be a starter. I'm not suggesting that at all, especially with the with Cam Ball and those guys there, the guys that were here a year ago. Of course, he's not going to come in and start. Just thought he would be a heavier part to the rotation, and we'd hear more about that. And he really hasn't. I don't even think he's ran with the 2s even in fastball. So. Sure. Again, yeah, and sees someone I hear Hog Pat saying to be fair, yeah, he is a freshman. I'm not suggesting that he should be a starter. He was a highly sought after player and someone who it sounded like could probably cut into the rotation pretty quickly. So we do have the XP question, and it's a fairly obvious one when you think about what we're talking about today. But this is for the folks. I should have started with this, and I apologize. But for the people that are, after this live show is done, just give me your win-loss record for the Razorbacks. You maybe have already said it in live chat. That's fine. I want it as soon as the live is over with. Give me your wins and losses for the Razorbacks. Tell me what you think. How many games? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're dead wrong. They're gonna go 3-9. Tim, I can hear.
They're gonna win 9.
They're gonna go 10-2
games.
10-2. Right.
10-2.
Dude,
12-0.
This is a tougher schedule, but it does feel like we haven't even talked about Petrino year 2 and what he's capable of as a play caller. We haven't even really gone into that with Talon Green, who made a lot of mistakes a year ago, but damn, that dude is big. He's got big play written all over him any given down.
But I think it's because there are so many unknowns. I think we know that there are so many unknowns, especially with this wide receiver core. Just in July, they were talking about, man, we wish we could get 2 more wide receivers.
Yeah.
And now we're at the end of August, and So what does that really mean? But at the same time, you just heard him talk about Blackstock, and he's like, he wasn't going to be with the starters, and really taking him off the offensive line was not going to impact the offense at all. That's a very nice way of saying he wasn't going to get to play.
Yeah.
So we're putting him in a place where he'll get to play.
And that tells you something about the offensive line.
It tells you the offensive line must be, in their mind, at least a considerable upgrade from last year when he played.
Yeah.
So
going into the depth chart, let me pull this bad boy up here. Here we go. Boom. There's our depth chart. Oh man, we're gonna talk about TeSlaa too. I don't want to forget about that. I told you this show was packed. We had a lot to discuss. But you said you got a chance to look at it. Is there anything here on either side of the ball that's a little bit surprising to you? A lot of oars, by the way.
It's so tiny on my screen, I can't really see.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, hold on.
I don't know why Twitter. Maybe I can
blow it up. Well, sort of.
I don't know why that's showing up so small.
Okay, here we go. A little bit better. Things that surprised me a little bit. There are not a lot of big surprises. Love seeing the size of the corners. 6'2". Gosh, it's so little. I remember looking at it going, man, everybody's big in the secondary this year.
Mm-hmm.
We should stay just a little bit bigger.
I think the thing that kind of sort of stood out to me a little bit, and it's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
Now I can't see the screen at all.
Danny Saili is behind Ian Jaffrard. Now, that's not an or either there. So sorry if you guys can't see it real well. I'm having a hard time seeing it myself. I thought it would show up a little bit bigger, but Saili, by the way, Danny had an incredible spring camp. Like this dude was, they're talking about him like he's going to line up most likely next to Campbell. Now this could still change, and he probably will. He's going to rotate a lot. You're going to see him out there a lot. But I love seeing Jaffrard, the 6'5", almost 390-pound monster out there on the field. And the other thing is, this is showing a 4-2 front.
Yeah, it is.
Even with, again, doesn't mean they're going to do that. We probably will see a lot of multiple looks up front. We'll probably see three guys. They've got Otis there in the threes, and they've got Blackstock. This is what I'm talking about. They got him in front of Otis.
Yeah. He's going to get playing time. But this is the place. This is just the Alabama A&M depth chart. And if you were going to get him some playing time, this is the game to do it in.
This is the time to do it, yeah.
So I think it's good. I think Cam Ball needs some snaps, but I with him being injured lately, I don't want to see Cam Ball taking 30 snaps.
Yeah.
I don't. I would like to see him get hit a couple times, maybe get a sack and go sit down, and don't hurt yourself before a game that matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, like you and I talked about before going live, like getting points up like you did against UAPB is like a big deal, I think. I don't think you want to worry about having to tussle, and you shouldn't, right? I realize it's any given Saturday, anything can happen. But I'm not saying it's going to be UAPB all over again, where Arkansas just does whatever they want, which could happen. I think Alabama A&M's better than UAPB, but you need to get out in front of this quick, score quick, get points on the board. Defense needs to shut them down and let your 2s and 3s take up the majority of the snaps.
Yeah,
both sides of the ball, not just for the sake of Cam Ball and Jaffrard and those guys, but on both sides of the ball.
I think one of the good things to see here, when you look at the starter in each position, senior, junior, senior. Yeah. There's not a lot of young guys in this, and that tends to bode well.
Yeah.
That tends to bode well when your team is a bunch of older guys, experienced guys. And I know we're going to see more of that with the transfer portal. It'll continue to be that way. You do want some younger guys, obviously, to bring up in your system, but it's nice to put a whole lot of seniors on the field.
To your point, There's so many juniors and seniors on that defense. And even the sophomores are typically, I think most of them that are starting are they're third year guys.
Right.
And then,
redshirt sophomore.
Yeah. And Blackstock, who's going to back up Ball. Those are both 5th year seniors right there. Steven Dix, 5th year senior, Xavion Sorey, 5th year senior, Julian Neal in the secondary, 5th year
There's
seniors.
a lot of experience on the field this year.
A lot of snaps too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not just years. There's a lot of snaps. So that could be slightly different than a year ago. Now I know they're starting corners with not starting, but Jaheim Singletary, who I think they're going to play a lot. Even he, for some reason, I keep thinking of him as a redshirt sophomore, but even he's a 4th year guy, redshirt junior. Scandrett, who will probably play a lot in this game. That's another senior. So many upperclassmen. Now, a lot of these guys have not played an SEC schedule, and that's fair. That is fair. The other thing that kind of stood out to me was Andrew Harris. And we know that they don't necessarily stand by their by the depth chart necessarily, but they've got him behind Wyatt Simmons at that linebacker spot where Steven Dix is the starter.
I mean, he's an or.
Is he an or?
Am I reading that wrong? Yeah, no, he's an or.
It's okay. It's still Harris. Harris had another guy that had a really good camp in fall. Was getting a lot of love early on in fall camp. So I kind of thought I honestly wondered if he was going to battle for the backup spot there, but it doesn't look like I don't know if that's the case. So Trent Whalen, and they're liking Trent Whalen too, who's ahead of the true freshman Tavion Wallace, who was a 4-star. So yeah.
I'd be curious to see how this changes when we move into the Ole Miss game.
Hey, by the way, guys, you gotta listen to what I'm saying. You could put your prediction now, but I've already got people tagging me in Discord. The tagging is for the post live show. You need to, and I see Chuck has also put his comment in Discord. That's after we're done. I need you to say that. I need you to put that in the comment section after we're live. That's when
after the live is over.
Yeah, after the live is over, put your comment, and you'll get that XP. Ty, that depth chart is difficult. Yeah, I know. Transplant tax. Nothing I can do about it, buddy. It just is what it is. It's the best I can do. But for whatever reason, when I share it, it goes small. But when I unshare it, it goes like big. And I thought that's what we were going to get, and we didn't. So I apologize. Nothing I can do about it, though. Angel says BYU beat us with an older team. Having older guys and a mix of what I think is some pretty good talent, along with that size, like you mentioned earlier, Tim. Oh man, I'm kind of cautiously optimistic about what they can do in the secondary, but I still think the defense. Someone mentioned this earlier in the live chat, and I wish I would have put it on screen, but they were like, "Why are we not talking more about the problems with the defense? Why are we, why is that not a bigger part of the conversation over the especially the last couple of years?" And I think that's a very fair thing to say, fair thing to bring up. Hey, really quick, TeSlaa. Okay. I'm only talking about this because it's every time he has a good game, it's just, we wasted him and we
did.
And I don't disagree necessarily. Here's what he has done in the NFL so far, preseason. He's caught 10 of 13 targets for almost 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, his last 2 years combined, he had 5 touchdowns, 62 catches, 31 grabs a year. He should have had more. I agree with that. But he had close to 900 yards in 5 touchdowns in those 2 years.
The big problem, I think, was the reduction in targets. Like, he didn't get used.
Yeah.
In 2023, he had 64 targets, 34 catches. In 2024, he had 36 targets, 28 catches.
Yep.
I mean,
which is a crazy
cut almost in half.
Yeah. That's a crazy good reception rate, by the way. That's almost 78%. And he also had 0 drops, according to PFF. Now they're a little bit different. Some people, it's really weird when you look at like pass breakups and then a drop and who gets credit for what. I would argue I thought TeSlaa had at least a drop, but and I think some other places are saying that he did, maybe not. PFF says he had 0 drops. We know he had a really strong catch radius at Arkansas, but he did. You're right. He caught 28 catches off of 36 targets in 13 games last year. So, in his drop rate, or his drop grade rather, let me pull that up here, 88.6, which is insanely high. Why that's not 100, I don't know. He had 0 drops, so why is it 88.6?
Yeah,
PFF and their strange grades, but yeah, I'm with you. But who do you think? Who's to blame for this? And this, I actually was going to ask Courtney that. That's why I put the question up. And, that we went on about the week to week, and it carried on a little bit longer than I thought it would. And I loved it, by the way, every minute of it, because she's just so good. She gets a chat riled up, and she gets to it. But who do you think, Tim, who is to blame for that? Is that something you would put on Green? Is it Petrino?
I mean, the targets coming down, and it felt like you had 2 people on the field most of the time. I know he was out there, but I feel like he was lost because Broden was out there, and Broden was atrocious. And it's not like we didn't know that. Broden in 21 was 36 receptions on 69 targets. That's before he even came to Arkansas.
Right.
Broden in 22, 32 receptions on 63 targets. It's not like we didn't know this about this guy before he stepped on the field for Arkansas, that he couldn't catch the ball because his hands were made out of chicken grease or something. I don't know. I mean, the dude could not catch the ball.
Yeah.
And so how he ended up overshadowing TeSlaa all season last season does not make any sense to me. Even if you looked at it in the first couple of games and you said, okay, maybe we had hope for him in the first couple of games, but he dropped the ball. So we feature TeSlaa in his place, but we didn't do that.
Yeah.
We kept him out there, and TeSlaa was lost. I don't think Green had the time. The offensive line was bad. I don't think he had the time to get through his reads to his third target that often. So it might be a mixture of bad offensive line. It might have something to do with misevaluating Broden and misevaluating TeSlaa. So a little bit on the coaches, a little bit on the offensive line, just a lot of blame to go around. I don't think Green had the time to get to TeSlaa that often. He did have 28 catches, so it's not like he never found him, but I don't know that he had the time to find him all the time.
Here's what I will say, and it's another reason why I wanted her to be in here. Let me pull this up, and I think I remember this being talked about. Here we go. This is Mike Irwin's tweet, and this is him talking about Courtney. TeSlaa had decent numbers last season, but he told our Courtney Mims that NFL scouts explained to him he was going to have to get better separation on his pass routes if he wanted to play at the next level. He worked with several pro coaches, listened to them, busted his butt to get better, and the result is what we're seeing now. But I get it, blaming Pittman fits your narrative better. Yeah, and I don't think I'm putting that on Pittman either. But I remember hearing that this was a problem, and I'm going to tell you guys something. I saw this in practice when I got to watch him practice a lot, and he struggled getting separation. And I think sometimes what happens is in practice, you know what? Green's got a mental note. This guy, he's not getting open, and he's already under pressure. You've talked about that. Travis has talked about that when we've had him on. Courtney's talked about that. Stephen Hamner, QB Spotlight, will tell you, and chat will tell you. He struggled getting, time in the pocket to make decisions. And I think TeSlaa, and it's not to say, you could pull up a video, and there's certainly footage of him running open. Absolutely. That did happen. I'm not saying it didn't. But something I did notice in practice was it sometimes didn't matter who was on TeSlaa. All of his catches were contested because he couldn't get separation. And so, and then seeing Mike, it popped into my head. Like, I do remember this being a conversation, and I think I even talked about it here last year. I do think he had to work on separation skills, and it's paying off because he's already got the other part, which is the natural raw talent. He has it. It stood out when he entered the portal. I saw it and I made a tweet about it, about him entering the portal and about how Colorado was going after him and Arkansas was going after him. Remember the stunt that that Colorado tried to pull with him. But I think they tried to get like a TeSlaa when he showed up for his visit. They had like a TeSlaa or something. And that's not even how you pronounce his name. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong, but I remember something about a TeSlaa being there. And but so I think there's probably some truth in this, that maybe he has a little bit of blame in this. Maybe his separation skill he just wasn't quick enough at creating separation when Green is running for his freaking life.
I mean, that's absolutely possible. But again, I go back to Broden was dropping the ball at an alarming rate.
Well, he was, but it was a lot. And PFF has it at like 5, which I don't believe. I think it was more. I think it had to be at least, I was thinking double digits. But maybe we remember those moments because they stand out so much, like the drop touchdown pass to the back of the end zone where Green is rolling out to his left. It's a great throw when he's not standing on 2 feet. He's almost in the air launching the ball downfield and Broden drops it. I mean, just a crazy moment. And he'd done that several times. There's another sideline throw, really well, great timing between him and Green, and he drops it. And he was, by the way, open. He was not, and that's something Broden did in practice. I remember talking about it here. Like, damn, this dude is not only catching crazy passes, but he is constantly open because he's creating separation, which led me to believe, I think our secondary might be in trouble because of how open he was getting. And that was against 2s and 1s in fastball. So
supposedly he only had 5 drops.
Yeah. According to
but
PFF.
he only had 15 catches on 44 targets.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy the 5 drops.
Oh, he had 18 career drops. I don't think they're counting everything that was a drop as a drop.
Yeah, Pat, PBUs. Right, as well as saying earlier, like I think they give credit to PBUs, and I don't think that's. I don't know. I guess we'd have to go back and watch every one of his targets, but I'm not going to do that.
No, but I say that to say that if you move TeSlaa to the number 2 spot behind Armstrong. Right. I don't know if he can or can't get open, but I know that he was catching the ball at a much better rate than Broden was.
He was.
And if he was given more targets because he was the number 2 guy, maybe it makes a difference. I just a thought.
He could catch contested throws. I mean, it was impressive to watch in practice. Like I remember saying that through the season. Like, of course, we didn't get week to week access last year. They cut us off at the fall camp. Like I think they're doing that again with the media. They don't get access during the season, which I'm not a big fan of, but I get it. But yeah, he was impressive, and I thought he made all the catches. Like, it just didn't matter. Rarely did I ever see that cat drop a ball. And Broden the same way in practice. Broden never dropped a pass, and then the lights come on, and he's dropping everything. So I think some of that translated onto the field for Green and probably even Petrino. Maybe Petrino saw that in practice, was like, no, I think we're going to go with Broden, and it just didn't work out, and that, listen, it's fair. You're not going to get them all right. You could argue, man, that may have cost them a little bit last year because Armstrong, what was his target total? It was insane. It was, it was 2-1 to the next guy up.
The next guy. Yeah. Well, and that really is a product of not having time to look for the next guy.
Yeah. So you can't handle the truth. Didn't hear. I guess he's coming in late. What we just talked about. Again, you can read the tweet. It's on the screen. You can't handle the truth. Read what's on the screen. And I remember this
in the NFL. Oh
yeah.
Mike Irwin's tweet.
TeSlaa had decent numbers last season, but he told not just some source. TeSlaa told our Courtney Mims that NFL scouts explained to him he was going to have to get better separation on his pass routes if he wanted to play at the next level. And so it's right there on your screen, guy. Read it.
And kudos to him for going out and making himself better.
Yeah.
He obviously made some changes in himself.
Yeah.
So, because he's having a heck of a preseason. I can't wait to watch him this season.
Well, Texan, I've already read it off for you now twice, man. I don't know and I'm highlighting it. Texas sure does complain a lot. Good Lord. God, it's like the third
Almost like
time,
this from
bro.
Texas.
Relax. But yeah. So I think there's definitely a lot of truth in that. I think I really just don't think it's as simple as, oh, this is on Green, oh, this is on Pittman, oh, this is on Petrino. I think they all probably have a little bit to blame, but also, yeah, the offensive line.
Yeah,
Give him more
there's plenty
time.
of blame to go around, I think, on that one.
Absolutely.
It's just unfortunate.
It's the Texan. Oh man.
So there was one more thing I don't know that I've seen you address.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised this isn't the XP question, to be perfectly honest.
Uh-oh.
So the SEC announced 9 games.
Oh, it was a
3 permanent rivals.
Oh.
Who would you choose, Ty? Who would you choose? Who are you gonna get, Ty?
Who are you going to schedule?
3 permanent rivals.
Yeah.
I think we can agree Texas is one.
They have to be.
They have to be.
I hate to say it, but it's that old Southwest Conference thing in me that's just like I like it when they play A&M.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think the Golden Boot is far more important than the borderline.
I agree.
I would choose Texas A&M, and LSU.
Yeah. Will Enix says LSU, Ole Miss, Texas.
I don't care about Ole Miss. The only reason anybody saw Ole Miss as a rival is because Houston Nutt went there.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
weren't a rival up to that point. They were a basement bottom dweller. You know, they were the catfish in the pond.
Yeah.
And the only reason we cared is Houston Nutt went there.
Yeah. Oh boy, when he went there, it was definitely, even though we had Petrino, it was still like, oh, that's why
that traitor, because all he did was talk up Arkansas, how much he loved Arkansas, and then he went to Ole Miss.
So I was wrong. I guess Weston's a Texan. I was wrong. I thought he said that we don't all have readers on or something. That's my bad. My bad, Texan. My bad. But to be fair, I think you were complaining earlier. Matt says, "Oh, what?"
Yeah, you know why he's saying that. That's 3 wins. He just wants the 3-0 on that.
How long is Kentucky going to be down? You talk about being stuck with a coach. Are they broke? Even with how powerful the basketball program is, like we know it brings in the money. How broke is Kentucky?
Yeah.
Here's Kerper. He says the Eagles, 2020 Bama and Russia. I would say 2019 LSU. The Philadelphia Eagles, and then, man, I don't know. There's some Pats teams in there. I mean, how many Super Bowls they won? It's ridiculous, but there's always one better than the other. So just pick a Super Bowl year of the Pats. That's who they're going to get stuck with. I'm telling you. I'm the champion complainer. Oh no. Oh no, wait a minute. Can I get some grace? I'm forever horns down native Texan and have adopted Arkansas as my new home.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We'll give you some grace. We'll give you just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know who they end up getting. I could see them doing some bullshit where we know they're going to keep Missouri, and I think they're going to keep Missouri.
They need to get rid of Missouri of all the ones to get rid of.
They do. They absolutely do. But
I could live with OU over Texas A&M. I could live with it's not my choice, but I could live with OU over Texas A&M. Yeah. If you did Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas.
I don't think, and I don't know if you and I talked about this, how much fans down in the River Valley across the border in West Arkansas and Eastern Oklahoma, how much they hate each other.
Right.
It is a natural hatred of each other.
Which is weird because we don't play.
No. I don't know how
Travis
many times
would be so conflicted because he has OU love, and when he gets down on Arkansas, he immediately goes, "Oh, I'm back to being a Sooners fan."
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That text. Boomer Sooner, like, oh God, anybody but. Yeah, that's I would be fine with OU, Texas,
LSU,
and then LSU.
You can never get rid of the Golden Boot. You can't.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I know they don't respect it as a rivalry, but
It needs to go back to Thanksgiving.
Oh man,
It needs to go back to
choir.
Thanksgiving, and I don't know when you would play Texas, but
Oh my gosh. Okay, he's got the. Is that a a cap here? Is he capping? Arkansas Mizzou is a great rivalry, and that looks like a Pinocchio.
yeah, like his
emoji.
Pinocchio. That's his Pinocchio face.
Okay. Yeah,
It's garbage.
It is not. It is a silly manufactured rivalry. I don't care. At least there's some history before Arkansas joined the SEC with LSU. When they beat us in 65 after we were trying to win the back-to-back title, and LSU.
There have been multiple overtime games. Not just one overtime, but multiple overtime games.
Miracle on Markle.
Those have been exciting. I mean, that rivalry does exist to a degree.
I think it does. I
does.
know there's some LSU fans that will agree.
Oh, absolutely.
I know they will. Yeah, the Arkansas and LSU in 02 when LSU was 17th in the country. What a game. Yeah. What a game. You know, I mean, and then you could fast forward to the Casey Dick knocking out a player to clear the lane for Darren McFadden. He was going to score anyways. It was a hell of a hit by Casey Dick.
The only thing Casey Dick did in his career.
So crazy, right? So crazy. Yeah. Well, I think we got everything covered. I was going to do a little piece about the disrespect on Darren McFadden. I guess we can kind of close that out since we're coming up on 2 hours. By the way, shout out to everyone. I haven't even asked y'all to like and share and hit the subscribe button. Please consider joining Patreon. And before we get to this last little bit here, I want to say, of course, a special shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Ever had your garage door break at the worst possible time? Yeah, we've been there. That's why Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company, is the go-to company for garage door repair in Little Rock and all of Central Arkansas. They offer same-day emergency service, and they fix everything from busted springs to brand new installs. These guys show up fast, get the job done right, and they actually stand by their work. So you don't wait around, don't wait around. Call Direct Service Overhead today, 501-244-3667, or check them out at directserviceoverhead.com. Your garage door will thank you. This was I don't know why this bothers me so often, but it's the disrespect to Darren McFadden. And I think I sent you the link, right?
At one point you did. Yeah. This is the one with Tebow as the greatest college football player
right here
since 2000, I think.
Yeah, in the 2000, the 25 best college football players of the century ranked. I hope they didn't put this behind a paywall all of a sudden. This is their honorable mentions. And they've got Adrian Peterson, who absolutely was a monster. If he could have stayed healthy, would have been probably a Heisman. Chase Young at Ohio State, that's valid. Darren McFadden, 05-07, one of the 3 players to win the Doak Walker Award twice as the nation's best running back. McFadden posted back-to-back Heisman runner-up campaigns in 06 and 07 while amassing 4,590 yards rushing in 3 years. Let's also not overlook what he could do in that Wildcat.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball, and it wasn't always pretty, but it drives me crazy, man. He's left off, and they go down, and it's hard to argue with some of these names. Like David Pollock was a beast. Jonathan Williams at Wisconsin, or Jonathan Taylor at Wisconsin, 3-time AP All-American winner, Doak Walker Award in 2019. But there's some of these guys I'm like, yeah, he's better. He should have been in. Like Crabtree gets in, and I understand that. In the air raid, he was insane in that offense. But if you're going to put Crabtree in here, how the hell are you not putting Darren McFadden in here?
Yeah.
Andrew Luck, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, again, it's hard to argue with these. Joe Thomas was an incredible left tackle. Roy Williams, great safety for OU. Matt Leinart. Again, you can't argue with all of these.
Matt Leinert's getting trolled by his own kid. So, have you seen that Alexa commercial?
I have not.
His kid goes to Alexa and goes, "Hey, who's Matt Leinart?" And Alexa says, "He was a great college football player whose pro career didn't pan out." His own kid does that while he's
Wow.
sitting there listening to it at the table with his kid.
Travis Hunter, I know that one's going to be.
I mean, that one's legit.
That's going to touch a nerve, but I do think it is hard to argue. I don't care what he does in the NFL. That is really hard to argue with.
I mean, in college,
fantastic.
to play both ways is a big deal.
It is. It's just not common anymore. And there's a lot of like really good. It's hard to argue with a lot of these. Fitzgerald was great at Pitt, and his career carried over. The 2019 season with Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers, one of the greatest, if not best, teams to ever grace the field. It is hard to argue with some of these. I get it, but there's a couple of names where I'm like, nah, D-Mac should be in this list. Darren McFadden should absolutely be here. I don't care. Swap him out with somebody. Sue, who was a Heisman candidate as a defensive tackle, that's insane. Bush is understandable. Cam Newton, surprised he wasn't number one, but then there's Tim Tebow.
I mean, it's hard to argue some of their college careers. Some of them didn't really pan out in the pros, but they had great college campaigns.
Yeah.
So it is kind of hard to argue that. Does seem there's just not enough space. You almost need the top 25 offensive and the top 25 defensive.
Yeah. You got to separate them. And there's no doubt, I think, of course, Darren McFadden makes that list. No. About Crabtree. Crabtree was a two-time All-American, winner of the 07-08 Blitnikoff. He was a Heisman finalist, I thought, but I don't think he never won the Heisman. Correct me if I'm wrong, and it's not on the sheet here either. Two-time, he didn't win the Heisman. He was a great player, and I'm not saying, but if you're going to put Crabtree in here, here's the other thing too to consider.
He finished 5th for the Heisman.
Yeah, he didn't even make the trip though to New York, if I remember. They only ever send usually like the 3.
Sam Bradford won it the year that he finished 5th.
So kind of surprised he didn't make that list. There's a lot of love there for those guys. Another thing to consider too, it's not like he was surrounded with NFL top 3 round, picks outside of Hillis and Felix, who was a fellow first rounder. But I mean, like up front on the offensive line, look at who's handing him the ball. Look at who's, they had some decent receivers when he was there, but they didn't have a vertical passing game. It was Darren McFadden putting that team on his shoulders time after time. Didn't have a lot of help from there's a couple good defensive players there in that time, but they weren't exactly elite. They weren't given the ball in their hands as often. It wasn't an excellent takeaway defense, if I remember right. They had some strengths and weaknesses, but it absolutely always boiled down to Darren McFadden making all the plays and doing everything, for this offense. And he operated the Wildcat. It was so fun to watch. I don't know. We all know. I think we all agree that he got snubbed for the Heisman when he lost it to Troy Smith at Ohio State. I hate it when they make these lists. They just leave him out. I hate it. I mean, I've seen like top 100 list. There was a top 100 list that came out, but I think it was all time and he was left off, and that's hard to do. Like, I think he should be on the top 100 greatest players of all time list. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just me being overly biased, but my God, 2-time Doak Walker, 2-time Heisman runner up, top, he was a top pick in the NFL draft, or he was highly picked or highly drafted, and again, when you talk about the players that surround him, they didn't have any kind of vertical threat. They didn't have first, second, third team All-American offensive linemen blocking, right? He had to do everything on his own. Whereas, like, you look at a guy, and I know Peterson didn't make the list. He made the honorable mention list, but he was always surrounded with elite talent. Now, he backed it up. He went on into the NFL with the Vikings. It was great. Helped me win a fantasy football year one year. But I don't know. I just don't think he's ever given the proper respect. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just touching a nerve.
I mean, there's definitely a he should be considered. I mean,
they do give him honorable mention, but I still
there's an argument there that you're right, that he should be in the top 25 for sure. Twice as a Heisman finalist, as a runner-up, not even as just a finalist, but as a runner-up. Yeah. That means he was considered the second best player in the country twice.
Right. Yeah, in an award that's all about popularity, and it typically goes to players who are on the blue blood teams, right? And you look at who he lost to. One guy was a quarterback at Ohio State. One guy was a quarterback at Florida. And so yeah, it's insane. I am surprised. I'm reading the rest of this honorable mention list. Derrick Henry, I think that, yeah, absolutely. Johnny Manziel was left off that list, and with all the Johnny Manziel love out there, and rightfully so. He was an incredible player, but it's kind of surprising he was left off. Marcus Mariota at Oregon.
I have feelings about that. Johnny Manziel. I think that he was saved by his wide receiver. His name's escaping me. Mike Evans. Mike Evans made Johnny Manziel.
He was really good.
Mike Evans went and got all the BS that Johnny Manziel threw up in the air with a prayer.
He was exciting.
He sold his soul to Satan, and Satan gave him Mike Evans as a receiver, and Mike Evans went and made him look good.
Evans was terrific, and he's good in the NFL. Tyrone Matthews also on this list. Sean Taylor, at Miami. Yeah, early 2000s Miami. You're definitely
Sean Taylor was amazing.
Yeah, he was. He absolutely was. I'm not super you can't be too mad at who's on that list, but it's just once again, it's if Crabtree's there and if a couple of those guys are there, then Pitt or the Darren McFadden should absolutely have made that list. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I'm with you.
What happened? Oh, yeah, you guys. Nothing to bicker about. Ty, you don't know ball. Miami is the best team ever.
That had to be who? I'm not even looking. That had to be John Haas, right? You don't.
No,
know
that was Kerper.
Oh, Kerper. Yeah, you don't know ball.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, don't forget the question. Give me your wins and losses after we're done here. We're just about done. So that's really it. Still chugging along. We are 2 hours in, and we're wrapping it up now. Tim, I appreciate you, man, taking 2 hours out of your evening. Monday Night Lights, I always look forward. Like I say, I always look forward to doing these, man. They're always a lot of fun. Guess what?
What?
Our next Monday Night Lights live,
we're reviewing the first game.
We're going to be reacting to the first matchup. We're going to be going over it all. We're going to be going into some depth. I'm really excited about that. So
nice.
It's here. Football season is upon us. Thank you, God above. It's finally here. And on top of that, Northwest Arkansas is getting cool weather. Oh, my God.
This weather is amazing. Although my phone did say earlier that it's supposed to be 80 tomorrow. I thought it was 70s all week.
Whoa, really? Yeah, because I saw 70s.
Popped up on my phone a few minutes ago.
Oh, no. Don't tell me that.
I hope it doesn't get there. I hope it stays in the 70s.
You're right. Yeah, it says 79 on mine. Yeah, it was like 64 earlier today, and it's supposed to be wet and rainy. By the way, it's supposed to rain all the way up until Friday, and then Saturday, it's going to be a little cloudy according to the weather app here that I'm looking at, but no rain in the forecast for Saturday. So God willing, that sticks.
Yep.
And you don't get rained on. So, all right, everybody, thanks again. Make sure you like, share, hit the subscribe button on your way out. Make sure you hit the notification bell. That is going to do it. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and maybe I'll be back this week. I'm not really sure. Just again, make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted as soon as I go live. All right, everybody. Until next time.